This is the pan-fried snapper, Cavolo Nero, it's roasted cherry tomatoes and mussels and beurre blanc. Good idea, I've got some nice little squire or pan-sized snapper here. Good idea if you are pan-frying fish is to just give them a good pat dry. You tend to find they stick to your pan less if they're nice, and especially that skin side. You get that skin nice and crispy. The drier it is, the crispier it'll get. Because we've got quite a thin fish, you can't cook it for too long. Just going to tidy it up a little bit. So just trim off that belly a little bit, trim out that tail. And then down the centre here you have some bones that come out from the backbone. They run to about halfway down the fish. Just run your knife down either side of those. Nice and firm. Going to cut through that skin. Let's have a little feel up in the end there, just in case there's some still stuck there. Remember, these thin bits, if I leave them on, they'll end up burning and cooking a lot faster than the rest of the fish. I want it all relatively the same thickness. That's our fish. Next, our sauce. In here I have about 100 ml or a couple hundred mils of wine. We're going to reduce that by about half. We always do the wine first before we add any cream or anything, because you want to make sure that alcohol is all cooked out so it doesn't change the texture or the flavour of the fish. Got some nice black lip mussels here that we prepared a bit earlier. And then some rind tomatoes. So I might actually start the tomatoes just in the pan, just on a low heat. It's the same pan we'll be doing the fish in. So I'll just sit them to one side. Probably want about 4 per person. If they'll cooperate and stay on the vine for you, all the nicer. It's not a bad idea just to put a little hole in them. Just stops any chance of them exploding while they're cooking. They're blistering up quite nicely. We just want to blister the skins and soften the tomato a little bit without taking away all the tomato flavour. That wine's come down by half now. We'll add about the same amount of cream, a little bit less. And this is where you want to, if you want to add some flavour to that sauce, I've got a bit of fennel, just add a bit of that. Bay leaf, thyme, peppercorns are all good to flavour this sauce up with. Just a little bit of lemon. See, it's just smoking away a bit there. Be fairly generous with salt on the fish. Be fairly generous with the salt on the skin side. So we want it to crisp up. And we just put a tiny bit on the bottom. When you're putting fish in, it's a good idea to try and put it away from yourself. So if there is any oil splash, it goes the other way. While that's happening, that sauce has come down now. I'm going to take that fennel and lemon back out. Add some butter. Don't put too much. And then a little chef cheat, I'm going to add some lettuce and granules. Use a stick blender on a low setting. This can be a bit messy. Take that off the heat at that point. A little bit more butter over the top. We'll just let that set and rest. Okay, blanch the Cavolo Nero. It doesn't need long, you just really want to soften it. Fish when you serve it, but by putting this on top, it'll actually help keep it warm a little bit. And then you really just want to serve the bubbles. It's just sort of changes the sauce a little bit, just gives it a lighter texture. You don't end up with as much sauce, so you can taste the fish. It just looks a bit fancy. That is my signature dish. Pan-fried snapper, Cavolo Nero, mussels and tomatoes.